I grew up a middle-class white female, and I went to Catholic school, kindergarten through 12th grade, which means I received top-tier sex education. So, an unfortunate fun parallel to that story is that I was also prostituted as a child, but that is a story for another time and has a happy ending. Bad pun. So we will fast forward 15 years, and I am newly on the dating apps. So there is one where you scroll and there are prompts. So I'm scrolling and I'm being very careful because I want the best gentleman to take me out. So I see tall, perfect. The prompt that he has is asking a question. So I'm scrolling through some of his pictures and I see a basketball and some friends and blah, blah, blah. And his question is, true or false, do I play basketball? So I say, true. And that starts the prompt. So he responds to me and says, you're a winner. And I'm like, yes, great. Context clues. And he says, you have won a foot massage. And me, being a sweet Christian woman, did not know that that was code for something. So we exchange, I don't know, like 4 more messages, and he invites me over. And I say, yes, of course. But it's 3 days later, and I drive 45 minutes because he doesn't have a car. Great. So I arrive at his residence, and it's a nice little townhouse. I feel perfectly safe. And I walk in, and it's super nice. There's a dog. That's great. And I'm like, hey, this is a really nice place. And he goes, thanks. I'm house sitting for 2 hours. Great. He offers me a beer from their fridge, very kind, and we sit down on the couch, where he does immediately pick up my foot, takes my shoe off and my sock off, and gives me a foot massage. So I'm like, okay, like, you told me what you were gonna do, so here we are, great. I start talking, asking him about basketball. He had just returned from overseas playing. And so I'm like, wow, that's amazing. What's that like? And he immediately says, well, there were a lot of prostitutes. And I was like, in my head, wrong crowd. Cool. So tell me a little bit more about basketball. And he goes, well, my friend forced me to go one time, and I just spent the whole time in the shower. I was like, okay, this is very weird. How do I get off this topic? So I ask him some other questions, thinking in my head, man, he could be massaging my foot a little harder, but that's okay. And he does dive pretty deep into the prostitute part about how he just took a shower and blah, blah, blah. So then he proceeds and he goes, so actually I have, a foot fetish. Would you mind if I gave your foot some attention? And I freak in my head, but not to him. I work in mental health. I want to be very accommodating. So I say, sure, but could I actually go to the bathroom really quick? I go to the bathroom, give myself a little pep talk in the mirror, see there's lotion on the counter, and I'm like, they can't smell nice. They were in sneakers and socks all day. Put some lotion on, okay, sure, for the plot. I come out, and he is standing in the middle of the room, naked. Okay. And he says to me, so it's not just that. I also like to be put down. So like when you went to the bathroom there, you should have told me to come follow you like a dog and sit outside the bathroom. Noted. Okay. And he's like, so we could just ease into this. And he tells me to sit down on the chair. I haven't actually said that I wanted to do anything, but I also haven't said that I didn't want to, so okay. So I sit down on the chair, and he lays his face close to it. You have to pay extra for all the sexually explicit parts, but it's weird, and at one point I'm fully dressed, remember, please. At one point he stops, moves my feet, and says, you could say some mean things to me, tell me how terrible of a person I am, and blah, blah, blah. And I just bend over and go, I don't actually know you that well. So things end, and our 2 hours is up, so that means his friends are coming. And so I leave. I'm pretty proud of myself, fully dressed. I don't feel like I was lost any dignity there. It's all for the plot, as I said, and I don't actually have to ever see him again, so great. I go home and we exchange some more texts, and he tells me how great I did. He's like, you are so great. I know you can do better. You can definitely call me, bad things. You could definitely treat me worse. And I was like, you know what? Yes, yeah, I could. I totally could. So I do all my research, as a scholar does, and I tell him my whole plan for the next time, but with the added benefit of it benefiting me. And he says to me, actually, I don't like to mix sex with my fetish. Oh. And so I responded, sir, you are going to have to find someone else because I no longer do anything that isn't mutually beneficial. Thank you.